Hello and welcome to the 250 subscriber special of the Sushi Fox YouTube channel. So, this is a little bit bittersweet because my Roblox account might have got terminated for excessive use of gore apparently. But I have a new account and everything, so it's all good. But the uploads won't stop at all. I'll keep posting as frequently as I do, which is not very frequent, but I can try to keep it up. But thank you. About a year ago, I was rocking about like 70 subscribers, and within the past year or so, it's been really going up. So just something that I would like you guys to know is that I don't necessarily do it for subscribers, it's more just for fun. So, yeah. Anyways, you probably clicked on this video because you want to see a tutorial for it, which is what I'm going to be doing. So, I mostly make glory kills. So I'll show you how to set all of that up and all of that. And I'll probably start putting it in the description of my YouTube videos, like the free model that I used for it. Well, I'll make it into a model. So the first part about it, you get the rig. But you'd want to go into plugins, build rig, R6, block rig. And then this is what you get, which I don't like. So I import an R6 mesh rig too. Go into the head, Control C or copy the head mesh, and then put it into this one, and then we get this. So then normally I just kind of style them, which doesn't take too long. I just have to get body colors in. It always has this here, so you just have to change the transparency to 1, and then you're pretty much done. You can just change some of the stuff. Like I like changing the torso to like red. And then we can get another one here, which is pretty good. So then we can just get rid of this one. So then normally what I would do is the enemy would be red, the friendly would be blue. So then we have the dummies here. Name this one friendly, and this one hostile. So that's always the first start. You always just have to get your 2 rigs here. Sometimes I'd use my avatar, which isn't that hard to do. You just have to, I don't even have it on this account, but just go over to plugins, and then it's probably the first one. It's just load character light, install, and then there you have it. So then you can just insert whatever you want, whoever you want, which I can't insert myself because I'm terminated, but you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can insert Roblox into the game if you really want to. You can just insert your friends or anything that you want here. You could put your own name there. Doesn't really matter. But then the next step that normally I do, sometimes you don't have to if you just want to do barehanded. That would be to add a sword or something to the game. So what I would just do is get a model for it. So let's look for sword prop. And then get the linked sword. Here we go. So we have the sword now. So the next step is probably going to put it in here. So with this, I'm assuming that you kind of know how to use Moon Animator, which it's not that hard. I'll just name the sword. But it's not hard. You just have to go to plugins, and then just look up Moon. It'll be like the first thing that comes up. Yeah, Moon Animator 2. We have old ones and stuff, but yeah, just Moon Animator 2. So you're gonna want to use, and yeah, like everything else here, you can use if you want. This, I have no idea why you would ever want to use a pro version in this, because it's like the same thing. But now that we have the sword here, we can pop this over into hostile, and then basically I just moved the sword, put it into his hand, and then moved it into his actual part in the workspace. So then right arm to sword, easy weld, parts, join in place. So that's pretty much how you're going to do that. All of these orange things always come with a Moon Animator. So yeah, they come with Moon Animator. You shouldn't have to worry about that. And then let's get another one in here. There we go. And then we just have to do the same thing, put it into friendly, right arm, sword, and bam, we're done. So then they both have swords and they're ready to be animated. But now something that you might want to do, let's go, not plugins, models. You can either make your own particle, but for the sake of making this video not 10 hours long, I'm just going to look up a blood decal. So, hold on. Blood particle. So that's pretty much what you'd want. So you can just kind of find one that you like. But don't use this like actually in a Roblox game. You might have better luck than me, but you might. So there we go. There's the blood that we're gonna use for it. So just put it there. I feel like it's a little too fast. So hold on. So now it's gonna kind of go up like that. So we can test stuff out here. See what that does. That's up. Don't want that. And then let's see. This is probably the right one, right? No. So this would be the right one. Yes. So that's like way too fast. So you can just tone down the speed a bit. And then that's kind of what that's going to look like. Then make the lifetime shorter. Not that short. Not that long either. Maybe that's good. 0.3 is probably what we go with. Yeah. So then you have your blood there. So pretty much what you'd want to do past this point is just put into there. Make sure it's not enabled whenever you do the animation. So yeah, blood. You find it, duplicate. Put it into this rig here. Make sure it works. Yep. And then we're good. I'm gonna name this blood too, just so it works right. And then name this blood too as well. So then what you're gonna want to do, since you have your blood, get whichever one goes into where. Like blood 1 is attached to the friendly, and so we would move the blood into friendly. And then we go torso, and then control click blood, plugins, easy weld, join in place. What that's going to do is it's going to make it so the blood moves with the torso. Then with hostile, we do the same thing. Blood 2 in, torso, blood 2, not head, blood 2, weld, there we go. So now, at this point, you should be pretty much where you need to be with the animation. So now we just edit Moon Animator, open, just name this test. So, and then you're going to be open with this. So I assume you know how to use this, but I'll go through it too. So just control click both of them, make sure rig is selected, hit OK, and then we should have both of these guys here. So then you can animate all of them. I always like to test some stuff out with it. Like make sure the blood's working alright. So you should be able to move the blood if you did it correctly. And then now that you can move the blood, you can move the sword too if you wish. And we should be good there. So there we go. Now just to show you how the blood decals work, you hit the plus again, find the blood, find the particle, then go to hostile 2, find where the blood is, here, particle, and then control click both of them, make sure enabled, it's added into it, and OK. So you're going to get 2 more tracks here for each blood. And then pretty much what you can do is you can hit the equals key. This will make a disabled keyframe. And then you hit it again. And then hit 7 on it. Hit value. Then enabled. And that's going to enable the blood. So then what this is going to do is the blood's going to be disabled until it gets to that certain point, then it's going to enable itself again. I'll just make this work a little bit better. Put that there. And then put this here. So then that's pretty much how you do the blood. You can get whichever decal you want for it. So let's say, for example, this guy walks up to him, put his sword out. Hypothetically, I'd say. And then we go here. And then we're not going to stab him yet. But whenever the blood starts playing, that's whenever we stab him here. And then that's not going to look good. You can definitely make this look better. But just the basics, that's how you would do it. Just how to enable blood and all with it. So it's not very hard. You just have to know how to do it. So delete all the keyframes here. And I'll show you some tip tricks with it. Always change this down too. I always prefer it. And then you can add it up later by just going edit, animation, settings, and you can change it. So first off, you want to get your stance right. So I'm going to have him face this way, like that. And another thing, always try to plan what the animation's gonna, do, what's gonna happen in it before you actually get around to it. So you can kind of plan all the movements until the actual climax of the animation. Put the legs kind of like this here. So, and then there, we look at him, and then we're good. So we have the stance here. You can do whatever stance you want. So you can of course animate whatever you want, but I'm going to show you like what a proper swing with this would look like. So let's say we're trying to swing a sword. We're going to first move back around this way, move the sword back. And a lot about animation is just practice. The more you do it, the better you'll get. I mean, even I still see progress with it, and I'm not very good at it, of course. But I still do see progress with it. And you should too. So don't just give up on it because you're not seeing that much progress. This kind of stuff takes time. So another thing about the animating that'll make your animations look just a little bit better is make it a little bouncy. Which you can, of course. So let's say we select these, then we can change it to a different easing type. You can mess around with this if you want. Which, it'll change your stuff a lot. I personally don't like using it, so I'm not going to use it. But if you want to cut some corners and instead of actually making it bouncy, I'm sure you could instead just kind of delete that keyframe and then set this to be bounce. I have absolutely no idea what that did. Yeah, I have no clue what I just did. But anyways, this should work just fine. And then after we move back this way, because this is bad, you don't want to do this. You don't just leave it off here, you have to make it go back some more, a little slowly, so you ease a bit more into it. So maybe make this a little bit faster. Hold on, let me put my phone on silent. Alright, so you're going to want to ease it out kind of this way, and then once you do that, you want to kind of slowly bring it back in. So then that's going to add some bounce to your animation. That's always a good thing to do with it too. So that's the start. You're always going to want to make sure that you have some sort of wind up before you actually swing at them. So another thing that you could do with it is you could make it so your character kind of walks towards them after they do it too. Like they kind of go like this whenever they go towards them. Which I will do. But I'm going to finish this side first. So the torso moves back. Let's say your character kind of gets down and gets ready for the attack. And you can see something that I always do with it is I always make it a little bouncy. You can't make it too bouncy though, or else it looks dumb. But you don't want it too little to where you can't see it. That's just a little bit bounce there. And then with it, the leg first of all. Find where you move. And then you're going to make sure that you're kind of like stationary with it. So that should be good. Yep. So that one leg's pretty good there. It looks like it moves a little too far out. And then this is another thing that I don't like about it. So we're going to make it so this moves less. Yep. All good. So that's kind of a good start to it. And animating takes like a long time. So I'm not going to animate the full thing. I'm just going to animate like a swing and all that. So then after you've done this, you're going to, what I always do is I slowly kind of ease into attacking it. I'm probably going to say slowly ease into more times than I should in this. So then this is when we're going to start running forward. Then you're going to start moving the leg. So we're going to start. And then you're going to want to have your like main slash part. So kind of like that. Move the leg first before anything. And I'm going to move this up like that. Perfect. And then this is kind of like this. We're not going to actually hit the guy, but just to kind of show you what it would look like to hit the guy. So there. And then we're going to slow it down some. And then go back a little. So it kind of slides in, and then we get the legs going. There we go. The leg up some. And you'll notice that doesn't look the best. So I'm going to stop moving it so high up and instead go a little bit more like this. A little less high so we have less movement there. And as you can see, that looks better. And then we keep it with the ground. That's one main thing about this. You want to keep it with the ground. So it actually kind of looks like you're walking. And then make sure we get this going. And then do this. Make sure we've got this moving there too. And then same thing with the legs here. Okay, I think I did this wrong. Alright, there. So instead of doing that, I want to do this. Get this up here. So that's not moving enough. So now we're gonna have this. So that's what I would call the end there. And then you're gonna move it a little bit more, but that's pretty much where it stops. And then we're gonna start moving it up something like that. And then that's gonna be kind of whenever he starts moving it back in. So I think you guys get the point with the legs at this point. So I'll just stop animating them now because that's not important. Instead, I'm going to focus on the torso and arms. So we're going to once again bounce it. Which it isn't bouncing enough, so we add more. And that's probably good. And we find out where it went, so it's that way. So then I determine that is too much. So smaller, and it's easier. So now what we have for this is we swing, and then we start moving it back in some. Here we go. And we begin moving it back more. So another thing that I like to do is I like to move this out. So you'll see that it's slower, but instead I'd like to have it like that, so then it looks slower there and then it speeds up, and I find that that looks pretty good. And then let's say this is the finished part of it there. So you see that this looks like it kind of snaps up, and that's not good, so we're going to want to make it a little out more. Alright, so we see that we're out of time pretty much here. And this is definitely a little too fast. Which undo, so we move it out more there. So I'm going to move it out like that. Alright. So now we're back to where we presumably started here. And then we move it out like this. Basically just bouncing it. And then we go back down here a little. Yep. So then that's how I would do that. You can always do it differently if you have a different style for it, but I'm just giving you what I found looks best. Focus is the arm there. And then for our friendly just do whatever. So yeah, you can always animate this more later, but that's how you would do what I would call the main slash animation. You always have to add that bounce there. That's the most important thing that I'm coming across here. That's one of my favorite parts about the animations. That's what happens after them. So yeah, I don't know what else to really talk about with this. If there's anything that I left out, I can always make a part 2. So just leave a comment if there's something that I missed here that you guys would like to know. But I'm pretty sure I got across most of the stuff that I would need to. So yeah, there's that. And, well, actually, there's one more thing that I guess I could talk about. And that would be how I edit my videos, which I'll probably just make another video for that. This will be my, how to actually make the animation. The next one's going to be about how to edit the animation. So expect to see that sometime, but not now. Maybe when I hit 300, I'll work on it. But another thing is that I'm probably going to try to branch out and start making different types of content. I'll keep animating, that's my one main thing, but I'll probably try doing some maybe ARC videos, if anyone knows what that game is. But yeah, I'll probably be posting some gameplay videos. If you guys want to watch those, feel free to watch them. But that's pretty much all that I have to cover in this episode. So, I guess I'll see you in the next episode.